G'day and welcome to Inside Rugby. If you haven't been here before, my name is Mark. I'm a Kiwi rugby fan living here in beautiful Cancun, Mexico, and today I'm wearing a rugby jersey from Minehead Rugby Club in the UK. Thank you to the team over there. It was great to meet you all last year at your club and to listen about the history of the club and everything else that's going on in Minehead Rugby. It was fantastic to be there. Now in today's video, I'm going to be talking about an English rugby player. His name is Owen Farrell. He's just signed a 2-year deal to go and play for Racing 92 in the French top 14 competition. And there's a lot of things that we need to talk about this decision. Farrell's move has come with a lot of controversy around it, a lot of media attention, but we've also got to remember that a lot of other English players have and are moving to France to play their rugby. So there's another story here that probably needs to be discussed, and that is what the RFU rules around English selection. But a lot of players, of course, are chasing financial prosperity by going to the top 14 competition, having an opportunity to move their families over to a foreign country for a few years, and why not get some international experience and exposure for the family in another country. Sounds like a fantastic move for a 30-year-old person to me. Well, the move from Owen Farrell, of course, has come with a lot of other discussions around it, obviously his mental health being one of them. And during that period after the Rugby World Cup, we all saw what unfolded when it came to Owen Farrell and making his first decision, which was to sit out of the Six Nations competition this year. And I think at that stage we knew there was something else brewing, and Stuart Lancaster, of course, the coach who's coaching over there at Racing 92, who is also an Englishman, put out a few words saying that you know, he was interested in getting Owen Farrell to come over to the club. Now, as far as Owen Farrell's history in the game goes, he started playing for Saracens in the UK when he was 17 years old, and he's played 15 seasons for them. He's the highest international point scorer for England. He's been capped 112 times, and there's no doubt about it that Owen Farrell is a controversial character. Some say his rugby is boring or has become boring over the years, but one can't distract from what he's been able to achieve with the English team, but also his commitment to English rugby over the years. Now, whether you like him or not, and I would say that most of the people who go online and troll about Owen Farrell have never met the guy in person and are just making a pure judgment from what they see on television or other devices, which of course is pretty ludicrous. And this is the sad thing about the world we live in today, I think, is that these people have too many platforms to be able to show their dislike and judgment towards another human being, to the stage where it's obviously affected this guy's career and he's had to make this decision to go to France. Making this move to France, Farrell makes himself unavailable at this stage, according to RFU rules, for England for 2 seasons. So that means that he's probably not going to be available until the next World Cup in 2027 in Australia. And that could be an interesting thing, because Owen Farrell will be 36 years old, and in my mind he'll still be able to go and ply his tray at the World Cup if he gets selected. But let's think also what's going to happen with England rugby, not only in this season but also next season as well. And if those that are going to step up and replacing Farrell in the team are going to make a point to prove, I guess, in terms of their ability, and whether or not Steve Borthwick is going to see that as part of the future of English rugby. So there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered, and by Owen Farrell moving to Racing 92, it opens the door obviously for some other players in that English squad and beyond to have their chances in that English shirt and prove what they can do. As I said earlier in the video, there's plenty of English players that are moving over to France. We've got Arundel, of course, we've got Ribbons, we've got Marchant, we've got Jack Willis as well that's gone over there, Sam Simmons as well, and also Jack Noel. So plenty of English players going over to France. They see the opportunity for them and their families, and the RFU really has a decision to make, I think, in terms of the eligibility. Now, there are conditions attached, of course. In certain circumstances, the RFU can actually select Owen Farrell to be in the English team, and if they set a precedent with that decision, then who knows what could happen after that. But that's all speculation at this stage, and we should probably stick to the facts. So Farrell's going for 2 years. He starts with the squad in Racing 92 on 1st of July. And I'm sure the French crowds and the French media are going to be a lot more friendly to Owen Farrell, because it tends to be the case when players go over there and ply their trade in France. They get very much adopted by the French crowd. And I must say the French love their rugby in a way that is a little bit different to what happens in England, particularly from a fans and online perspective. So I think with Farrell being away from that attention, or that kind of attention online, it's going to give him the peace and the serenity he's looking for to maybe play great rugby again and feel less pressure when he goes out there on the field. So I think that's a great thing for him. I think it's a really great move personally. I think he deserves to go on, continue as a career in an environment where he can overcome perhaps what he's just been through after the Rugby World Cup. I think it was disgraceful in the way that the minority of English rugby fans and other fans from around the world treat Owen Farrell online, and also the British media as well. There was some reports out this week about Farrell turning his back on Saracens after the number of years, the 15 years that he's played for Saracens. Well, I wonder why he's turned his back on English rugby. Let's think about that for just a minute. Now, there's plenty of people that have their issues with the way that Owen Farrell plays the game of rugby. They can make those opinions known in a respectful way online, but unfortunately there's been too many for too long now making comments that are abusive and disrespectful. And unfortunately, as I say, the minority of rugby fans are positioning themselves in this way because it's very easy, as we all know, to get on a keyboard and type away some nasty things. So hopefully this change from Farrell going to Racing 92 is going to make a lot of people sit up and think about how these things are managed. I don't expect things to change overnight. That's the way that humanity goes. But at least this particular topic's got people talking about player support, the care and duty of care of players, particularly within the national and international environment. And you know, Owen Farrell's not the first. I remember back in the days that Richie McCall, he used to get a lot of online abuse about the way that he played the game. A lot of people thought that he was you know, intervening in the laws in a lot of instances when he was playing the game, and as a result of that he got a lot of online abuse as well. So this is not something that's isolated to Owen Farrell. Of course, it's something that we have with professional sports people in general. People don't like people who are successful. People don't like people that are living their dreams. People don't like people that are making a lot more money than them, that their families are getting lots of opportunity to go and live in another country and have a nice time. People are jealous, and that's exactly why these things exist, and we're never going to be able to eradicate that. But I can say nothing but other than wishing Owen Farrell all the very best for his tenure at Racing 92. I hope it creates an opportunity for him to find peace again in his game, but also in his life, and that him and his family can get back to enjoying the rugby environment, the rugby community. And I'm sure all the players in the squad at Racing 92 are going to embrace Owen Farrell and make sure that he's really truly felt welcome at the club. So what can we expect to see from the RFU in the UK now from after this decision? Well, I don't think one man's decision is going to change the RFU policies and procedures, but there's something that's going on that needs to be looked at. Across the world of rugby, there's different nations that abide by these rules of not selecting players that go and apply their rugby elsewhere, and that tends to rob us, the rugby fans of the world, of seeing some of the best players playing at different times. But it also creates this gap where individuals need to choose on where they play their rugby and how they earn their money for the short period of time that they have as a professional athlete, to be able to go and secure some financial future. And that shouldn't be the way, I feel, in the way that rugby goes. So I think there might be some changes coming. We'll have to wait and see. And as I say, England's not the only country that has that policy in place today. So let me know in the comments what you think about Owen Farrell's move to Racing 92 in France. Do you think it's a good thing for him? Do you think there's a bit of a black mark against the RFU on this one and on English rugby in general? Do you think things can be done to protect players when it comes to this online abuse, let's say more than what's happening at the moment. I'd really like to know your comments on this particular topic. It's very, very interesting. Okay, well that's it. I just wanted to drop a video about Owen Farrell, his move being confirmed now to go to Racing 92 starting on July the 1st for a 2-year tenure. He's going to be hooking up there with Stuart Lancaster, of course, from the UK, and a lot of other players too that have moved over from England. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs in that competition. Now I'm going to be back soon with some more content from Inside Rugby here. We're only a few days away from the start of the 2024 Six Nations competition, so that's going to be absolutely fantastic as well. I'm going to be covering it all here on my channel, so why not hit the subscribe button, give this video a bit of a thumbs up, and let's get ready for some fantastic international rugby that's going to be starting in a few days time. I'll be back again soon with some more content. Until then, stay well, stay safe everybody. It's time to say adios from Mexico. Bye for now.